You are listening to Proof Text, a Glossa House podcast exploring Scripture and all things related to it. New episodes are released daily. For more information, check out glossahouse.com and subscribe to our channels on Spotify and YouTube. Welcome and enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Proof Text. I am Michael Halcomb, and I'm with my friend J.M. Smith. J.M., you doing well?
I'm doing great. Ready to
Right
ask
on.
some questions of the Bible.
Excellent, man. Yeah, excited about that. Always look forward to this when we get to meet. So we got some interesting verses that will throw your way today. And
All right.
so if you're first time watching these episodes, or even if this isn't your first time, what we do here in 10 questions is basically a random verse. We bring that up, and then we spend time asking 10 questions about it. Each of us get 5 questions. We kind of ping pong back and forth, and we'll look at the Greek or the Hebrew if whatever we're dealing with. And yeah, it's pretty fun. And the whole idea is just to show you kind of like what students of the Bible do when they open Scripture and start to study it together. So yeah, let's do that. JM, you don't know what verse is coming.
Nope.
Let me set that verse up, and then we will take a look at it. So,
All right.
if you are listening, that's fine. But if you're watching, you'll have an advantage because you'll be able to see both the Greek and Greek and English, or the Hebrew and English text on the screen. So, all right, here we go. I got it pulled up. And today we are looking in this episode at Genesis 9. And the verse we're at is 11. So Genesis 9:11. That should be coming up on the screen here. There we go. So I use a random Bible verse generator to pick these, and this is the first one that threw my direction. So Genesis 9:11. This comes in the Noah story, which most people are familiar with. And yeah, here we go. Genesis 9:11. The English, which is the NIV, says, "I establish my covenant with you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth." All right, some interesting stuff here. You want to lead off on the questions, or you want me to swing first?
I'll jump in with the first question
Right
because
on.
it came to mind right as I'm looking at the NIV says, "I establish my covenant." Most of the other translations, in fact, all that I see, a lot of them at least say, "I will establish my covenant." King James, "I will establish my covenant." American Standard, "I will establish my covenant." So that's what my first question is this present tense? I mean, the Hebrew is a perfect. So if anything, it'd be a past tense. I have established my covenant, but then it has the vav, so that I guess would make it a vav conversive. And so is it a future tense, or is it just, that's what I would want to know right off the bat. Is this something God has done, he's in the process of doing, or he's about to do it and is announcing it?
Yeah, it makes a huge difference. Wow, great question. So my first question is just a very sort of basic biblical slash theological question. It says, "I establish my covenant with you." Of course, berit in Hebrew, but I'm wondering, what exactly is a covenant? Is it a vow? Is it an agreement? Are there stipulations? What is meant by berit? Yeah, so that's my first question.
All right. I want to stick around with this first word. Hikimoti. I will establish, it's also translated as "I will confirm." the Net Bible has confirm, and then the New Jerusalem Bible, New Jerusalem and JPS both have "I will maintain my covenant." So establishing, maintaining, confirming. So establishing seems like bringing something into being. Maintaining or confirming seems like it's something that's already in being. So what is that verb? What is God doing with his covenant? Even once we get the timing nailed down, then what is the actual act that he's doing? That's my second question.
All right. So it says, I'm looking at the end. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. And I know that the Hebrew here is haaretz, which could just be land. So is this idea of the earth, like the whole globe, the whole earth, like, is that really what's in mind, or is it just talking about sort of the land? I guess, in other words, are we talking about a global flood or a local flood, or maybe we could go there, but is earth really the best translation for haaretz here?
Great question, and that definitely opens up a can of worms.
Yes.
That's one of the passages we look at in my study Bible reviews is global, local flood, and how do different things handle that. So that's a huge question.
Yeah. Hopefully Ken Ham's not watching, but
let's see. Question 3 is, I would want to know what. So back up to the most basics. My covenant established my covenant with you. It came. Who is that you that's being talked about? Is it singular? Is it plural? Is it talking about specific people? Is it talking about and extending to all of humanity? Contextually, who is you? That's my third question.
That's great. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood. So we have the all life's interesting to me, but you have kind of a parallelism, but it doesn't, in English, it doesn't seem to destroyed by the waters of a flood, and then you have like be a flood to destroy. So I'm wondering, is there something going on in the Hebrew that, or underlyingly, that creates a nicer parallelism, or not? And if so, what would be the significance of the parallelism? I mean, there's certainly some overlap in words, but yeah, I'm curious. I'd like to do more study on the possibility of a parallelism.
Well, for my fourth question, I just noticed when you mentioned destroyed, which is what the NIV has, but the prior NIV, the 1984 NIV, does not have destroyed. It's I will not, or never again will all life be cut off. And it's literally translating that yikreth, to cut off. So they're giving a little bit of an interpretive. I wonder why they felt the need to change that from cut off, which has covenant language implication, and it is about the covenant in this verse. Why they felt the need to change that to destroyed, even though that's what's happening. But do you lose something theologically when you gloss over the cut off language in a passage about a covenant?
Yeah, that's a great point. I hadn't even noticed that. Great, there. So that's a great insight with the covenantal language. going back to the very beginning of the verse, I establish my covenant with you. So assuming that the I is God, why does God feel a need or have a need to or a desire to establish a covenant with whoever the you is? Why a covenant in the first place? So I asked initially, what is the covenant? But now I'm asking essentially, why a covenant? Why does he need to make a covenant in the first place? Or wish to make a covenant in the first place, or want? I think we both have one question left.
Yes. I'm going to end my last one with what is the Mabul, the flood? Is that the generic Hebrew word for flood, or does it have broader usage? I know in Psalms, we're teaching through the Psalms at Disciple Dojo, and we come across this Mabul sometimes as God seated above the Mabul. I think it's used in Ecclesiastes, and so sometimes it can have almost cosmic implications. So I would want to know, like, does it in this case, or is this it just means flood, and God's not going to flood anymore?
Wow. So I'm looking at the in the NIV, the both sentences I'm sorry, seem to start with the never again, and then never again. Never again will all life be destroyed. Never again will there be a flood to destroy the earth. These seem to be because you have the all there, and then I guess ha'aretz, if you translate it earth, they seem to be like all encompassing. But again, I'm wondering, with the never agains, are we drilling down like to like a local level? And so I guess I'm not just asking, is the flood local, but in a sense, is the promise of the covenant local? Like, is it to whoever the you is here, which we seem that we're in the no story, but whoever the you exactly is here. So is the never again promises like local just to them, or does it extend beyond this sort of local whoever the you is? Does that make sense? Seems like a really ambiguous question.
Like does it extend completely in time, like literally never again, or just for the foreseeable future?
For the foreseeable future to this person who he's making the covenant with.
Right. To you, like, and people I'm talking to.
Will all life not be destroyed as long as like the covenant, like as long as you live? And will there never be a flood again as long as you live? Or is this like, does this extend temporally beyond that, and then does it extend outside that person he made the covenant with? I think that's important. I think it's like those are really important questions.
Yeah, sometimes promises are localized, not just geographically, but like specified, to the people being spoken, and sometimes they are universal promises that extend beyond. And so knowing which is which makes a big difference in how we read a passage.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's our 10 questions. Those are really good, thought-provoking stuff. Thank you guys for watching. If you're able, hit the like button, the subscribe button, more importantly, the share button. And if you get a minute, head over to discipledojo.org and check out what JM's got going on. Check out his YouTube slash Disciple Dojo or at Disciple Dojo. Check out his YouTube
Disciple
page as
Dojo.
well, which is really growing well. So congrats on that. The Grown Up
Thank you.
Table project he's got going on over in Facebook. So lots of great things going on. Check all that out. JM, thanks for your time. Thanks for your insights. Really grateful.
Always a pleasure.
And y'all take care. We hope that helps.
Interested in growing your ancient language skills but not sure where to start? Glossa House can help. From illustrated readers and short stories to lexicons and grammars, Glossa House offers a variety of resources for beginning, intermediate, and experienced ancient language learners. Head to glossahouse.com today. Glossa House, language resources for the global community.